Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have another one of these diamonds in the rough for you. His name is David Zorrilla. He's a wide receiver out of Bryant University. Nice to meet you, buddy.
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Jimmy.
So, yeah, coming out of Bryant University, maybe not a lot of people think about Bryant as a football institution, but I mean, you guys do have some great talent out there. But before we get talking about more about you, and your school, tell me where you're from, and we'll kind of walk through the rest of it.
Well, I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, raised in Everett. Basically lived in Everett my whole life. Um, I started playing football when I was 13 years old in Everett, so I've always played football in Everett. I'm well known there. Went to Everett High School 4 years. It was a good experience, I made lots of friends there. Probably like my bestest friends, and I still talk to this day. Um, and yeah, that's where
Oh,
I'm from.
all right. Well, let's talk a little bit more about your days in Everett. I do
Yeah.
have in my notes that you did a little bit of track,
Mhm.
but overall, talk to me about you as a high school athlete. I mean, did you play any other positions too?
Actually, I punted the ball in high school as well, so I was a punter my senior year, which kind of was kind of funny to play. But I remember in practice we'd have like when we would have our punting segment, and I would punt the ball would go so high up, like, yo, you can actually punt. I was like, yeah, but no, other than punter, it's just been wide receiver. I'm not a big defensive guy. I just play wide receiver. But if I was to play punter, I could put the ball for people
Okay,
to
well,
be the punter.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then also, as I had mentioned, you did a little bit of track. I mean,
Mhm.
how'd that work out for you?
I only did track on my senior year. I just wanted to test it out because all my football buddies who were seniors did track as well. So I was like, hey, it's like a good opportunity to like try to run as fast as I can, see like where I'm at speed wise. I did the hundreds. I ran 100 meters. I did a 200 once, hated it, and the 4x1, and I also jumped as well. So
Okay, didn't like track as much as you liked football. Obviously,
nah,
that's what you have been playing for the past several years.
yeah.
What is it you like most about football?
Honestly, just having football in my hand is just like when you're playing receiver, I feel like it's like the best position on the field, aside from running back, because you basically always have the ball. But being a receiver allows you to be who you want and be who you are, like on the field, like whether it's like, because I think of being a receiver as like playing basketball, because you gotta be so shifty with your moves and crafty, and then once you go by people, it's just having fun at that point. Just you got a ball in your hand, just run to score a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean it's exciting. I mean, let's
Mhm.
just be real. I mean, the guys that play wide receiver out there are typically your most athletic guys.
Yeah.
And so you want to see the ball in their hands, man. You want to see them do some great things with it.
Yeah.
Juke some people out of their shoes, blaze past people down the field,
Yeah.
and score some points. So cool. So growing up there in Everett, Massachusetts, who was your favorite football player growing up?
To this day, I want to say Odell. That like I remember watching him, Odell Beckham. Like I remember watching him come out of college. Like he wasn't like the best receiver there. Like he was good, but then when he got to like when he played on the Giants, the one-handed grab, like I was like, wow, that dude is awesome. Like I remember watching every single game for the Giants, and like I just thought he was like the best player, like best wide receiver of all time, from my opinion. Obviously, there's better, but like for me, like that was just the guy that I looked up to and was like, I want to be like him.
Well, certainly that one-handed catch kind of broke the internet.
Yeah,
So,
definitely did.
um, but cool, cool. So, you end up going to Bryant University. Coming out of high school, did you have any other opportunities outside of Bryant?
Actually, I Brian was the only school that offered me. I had tried a couple other schools in the NEC. I had tried a Division II school. I went to camps. None of them. I ran good. I tested well, but they all said like I didn't have enough film for them to offer me, and I came to Bryant, tested well. I caught the ball a couple of times over people, and they brought me to Coach Perry, who was the head coach at the time. Brought me into his office and just straight up said like, we want to offer you. And I took some time. I wanted to get another offer. I didn't want it to be my only offer, but it was. So at I think it was September, October, I committed, and I had a I'm pretty proud of it. I'd safe to say that like, it was a good decision. It was the right decision. Obviously there's some bumps along the way, but I'm glad that I took it. I'm glad for the opportunity.
Yeah, so you spent what I think like 4 years or 5 years
Four
at
and a half.
Bryant.
It was 4.5. Five years, but it was like 4.5, basically.
Right, right. But 4.5 years there at Bryant, and I guess the other thing about Bryant, very good academic institution.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
what have you been able to accomplish there as a student?
Well, my freshman year was actually really hard transitioning from high school to college. Obviously, like a lot of people know that, but just being a student athlete in general, like at this school, was very much challenging because like you basically have to meet the criteria for all the other students who are there for only school. So you have to. Our coaches made us always sit in the front, always be on time for class, make sure we're not sleeping in class. But, for me, like, it was very hard, tough it was very tough for me here at Bryant, but, I had great people who helped me academically, my academic advisors. I had tutors probably, like, 2, 3 times a week to try to get me through it, and I got through it.
Cool. And what'd you end up majoring in?
I majored in psychology, and minoring in management and communications.
Interesting. So, I don't know if perhaps you will be able to use those in the future, but I mean, have you thought about maybe what you're going to be doing after your football days are done?
Yeah, I definitely have, like so what I wanna do is I know, a lot of athletes and students or people in general just deal with a lot of mental health issues, and my focus is I wanna help athletes just talk through their problems or situations that they're going through, and I wanna be there to help them because I myself went through those problems as well and didn't have no one to talk to. So I just wanna make sure that maybe one day I can help athletes, whether it's high school, college, or even in the NFL.
Yeah, definitely something that we need in sports.
Yeah.
So that'd be a great thing to get into. So, David, let's talk some football. Describe that offense there at Bryant for me, if you don't mind. Maybe some of the different offenses that you've been in during your time there.
Yeah. So I mean, my freshman year at Bryant, we had Price, Gene Constant, All American kick returner. We had Tom Kennedy, who plays for the Detroit Lions right now. And one second. I'm sorry about that. It's a lot of noise here. But yeah, so like I was saying, we had Gene Constant, all returner, All American. Tom Kennedy was on the Detroit Lions. Like our offense was stacked, and it stinks that the way it ended out, we only ended 6-5. We lost a couple games here and there, but that honestly, that freshman year team was really good. Sophomore year was we were had to reset, new head coach, bad record, and then COVID hit, and that whole story happened, and then we had a COVID season, 2-2. But the last 2 years have really been where it's like where we started to click because we got Gage goes down for first game of the year against URI. Zevi, who's a freshman, comes in, plays outstanding, gets All American as a freshman. And then this past season, we moved to the Big South, to new conference where we were working, and like our record is different. We had a pretty bad record, but overall, we had our head coach Coach Merritt was saying we basically led, I think it was 8 games by a touchdown or more, and we lost all those 8 games. So something, things that we could improve on, but it's my time is done here. So it's good to see that the team now is going to improve, and probably hopefully I can see them win a Big South championship.
Yeah, I mean, obviously going to be a little different. I mean, transitioning to a new conference, I mean, it takes a little bit of, time to adjust and that sort
Yeah.
of thing. But let's talk about you as a receiver. I mean, again,
Mhm.
because that's the position that you play.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
describe a little bit the kind of receiver you are. I mean, how you've been utilized over your
Mhm.
time there at Bryant.
Well, I know I'm not the fastest guy in the world. I can say that religiously, but all I know is I'm pretty strong. Like I have a good frame. I like to catch the ball. Like I take pride catching the football like to the heart. I remember back in my freshman year, when I played on the freshman team, I couldn't catch a single ball. And I just took that to the heart, and every single night, I talked to my brother, "Hey, Steve," my brother's name is Steven. I said, "Steve, do you mind throwing me a football?" We would throw probably from the end of, like, workouts, which is, like, 5 o'clock to, like, 10 o'clock at night till the sun came down every single night for weeks straight. And I just think about that, and I take pride in, like, me catching a football, me being strong, because I feel like if no one can, out muscle me, then they're not gonna be able to cover me.
Gotcha. So, taking some pride perhaps in winning at the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
So, if you can, position yourself, well enough and maneuver yourself around your guy. I mean,
Mhm.
you could bully a little bit at the line without,
Yeah.
a flag,
Yeah.
but then of course get yourself downfield. David, when there is this one play that's
Mhm.
called in the huddle and they're calling your route, what is your
Mhm.
favorite route?
Um, so we had a bang 8, so it was like, so we had it was like a read option. So if the safety came down, I'd get the ball right behind the safety. So it'd be a 5-step glance. That route, like unstoppable. I'd always have to get inside, and then every time I would like kind of use my shoulder to get in the defender's face, and then snap off, and I catch the ball every time.
Cool. Well, sounds good. David, obviously you've put together some film there at Bryant and also attended two different pro days here recently.
Yes,
So
sir.
talk to me about those two pro days and how you did overall.
Well, firstly, I think I did really, really well overall. The goal was coming out of Bryant, small school. So the goal was, just to turn some heads and get into contact with some people. Um, I do want to say, like, I was very, very nervous when I did my first pro day at Harvard. It's just like basically my trainer was saying, we're fighting for millions of dollars. These scouts and these teams are, if they're going to invest in a player like me or whoever, they're going to invest millions of dollars, and you can't play around with that type of money at all. So, yeah, I basically just try to stay calm, cool, relax. I try to get a good night's sleep the night before. Got in an ice tub. But that day, I felt my mom was there, so that was like very nice to feel. I did well in my numbers. I tested really well. I had an opportunity to talk to some scouts. So yeah, and then the Bryant Pro Day was just try to improve on like on like three of my drills that I could have done better at Harvard, and also like turn some more heads that were there, and then just try to be grateful for the opportunity that I was given, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some solid numbers. So, I mean, the ones that I have in my notes again, uh, 10-2 broad jump, 37 and a half vertical. And I think the one that's really going to help you out the most really is the three cone drill because I mean, you did well with that one going at 686, which that just kind of shows your ability to change direction, your short area quickness, which is
So
where you win, man. I mean, you
yeah,
win there at the beginning, and because you have to be able to like we had already mentioned, I mean, you got to maneuver around that first defender and get open. So,
yeah.
great. So, obviously putting together some solid numbers at your pro day, and finishing out your time there at Bryant. When we reflect on all of that, Um, Give me some of your best memories of you there at Bryant, whether it be a game or even like a specific play that comes to mind. Give me at least one of those instances.
Mm, I have a couple, but the one I feel like the one best memory I probably have is my freshman year. I'll go way back. My freshman year, first game of the year. I didn't something about me. I didn't I coming out of high school, I didn't really play as much and I didn't really get the ball and I never scored a touchdown. So freshman year, first game of the year, this is the first offensive series where we were down on like the 30-yard line. I run a bang eight, I run the glance route, I catch the ball, and I see the flag. And I'm like, I score a touchdown. I'm in the end zone. I see a flag. The 2 plays before, we got 3 flags. So I'm like, oh, this isn't a touchdown. I'm gonna just give the ball back to the ref. My teammates at the time were like, yo, you scored, you scored. I was like, I scored? And they were like, yeah, I scored. So I scored my very first touchdown, my first play, my first game of my college career. So that was pretty memorable. My
So
whole
that
family was there and it was just sweet.
but the refs had to throw you off just a little bit with
Just a little bit. They asked the flag was a defensive pass interference, so I got
oh,
held
okay,
and
okay,
I
okay.
scored.
Well, that hey, that's fine. I mean, might
Mhm.
just have thrown you off a little bit because I mean, you're not able to celebrate like with that raw emotion that a lot of people
Yeah,
have at the time because you're like, okay, now what's the flag? What's the flag?
yeah,
Is it on me? What I
exactly.
do? So,
It just threw me off.
all right. Well, David, obviously we had to talk a little bit about you as a player there,
Mhm.
Bryant. But want to know if there's anything else that you feel people need to know about you outside of being an athlete. So, give me something about you, maybe some hobbies or personal interests or something. I mean, give people something about you that you find interesting.
Well, I mean, I'm a big lemonade guy. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm a big lemonade guy. Lemonade is a popular drink. It's usually all in my bio. I say it all the time. So that's like really like if I was to trademark something, I'd trademark LIAPD. Lemonade is a popular drink. So I just want to let the people know that lemonade is a popular drink.
Okay. Anything else about you that you want to share? So, I mean, obviously, a lover of lemonade, but
Mhm.
outside of that,
Um,
what can you share?
no, but I do want to say I'm Hispanic, so I just feel like if I'm able to proceed in my professional career, I can there's not a lot of Hispanics out there playing football. There's a good amount, but there's not too much of them. So, hopefully I can be like one of the next Hispanics or Latin Americans to play professionally and get some acknowledgement. And I want to try to like how do you say it? I want to I can't even think of the word right now, but it's basically just me saying like I want to be the next or want to be in that area of like Latin Americans, Hispanics to play the game of football and like with talent and pride and other things like that.
Sure. I mean, you want to go out there and you want to represent. I get it.
Represent. That's what it is. I
So,
want to. Oh yeah.
all right. Well, a couple other things. Again, from Massachusetts, Everett, Massachusetts. Tell me something about your hometown that makes it special for you. Like, is
Yeah.
there like a local joint there that you frequent or what?
There is this place. So after high school, excuse me, after high school practices, me and my teammates would always go to this Brazilian place that's like down the street from the stadium. And like as a high schooler, you don't really got money, you don't got a job playing football, so you just you got $1, $2, $3, and so they would sell bread, like pieces of bread at at this place like for 50 cents, and they would sell these things called cuisines. It's like a ball, it's like a fried ball of meat and has like cream cheese inside. And to this
Hmm.
day I still go there and I get that. Like that it probably is like the best thing I can
That sounds interesting. I can definitely appreciate some of that. So,
get. Yeah.
um, David, as we begin to wrap things up, I mean, it's been great getting to know you on off the field. I mean, I know you
So
have a lot going on right now. I mean, you're
yeah,
training. I mean, you're waiting for your moment.
yeah.
You've also sat down with some scouts, had some interviews with them, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to reach out to the rest of those guys out there whom you maybe haven't talked to. So tell them why you would make a great addition to their team and what you'd be able to do for their franchise. So close with your pitch.
Well, one thing, couple things. I'm ready to work. I've been waiting for my opportunity for a very long time. I'm a very humble person. If I get picked to whatever team, I promise them uh, it's just gonna be nothing but work, and I'm there to win. I've always been a win. I've always been a winner my whole life, and I have goals like for myself and for whatever team I play for. I'm gonna have goals, and I just want to make people proud as well. I'm doing this for my mother. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my friends who've been with me for since the beginning. So I can say is what I offer is like a winning mentality, a hardworking mentality, and heart. Like I make sure I leave it all on the field, like because you never know when it could be your last time you play the game. So that's what I got to offer.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a receiver who can go out there and be utilized in a lot of different ways. I mean, he got some good raw athleticism too to work with. So if teams want to throw you around a little bit, maybe put you on special teams, have you run down and do those sorts of things. They could certainly do that. I mean,
Exactly.
interestingly enough, I mean, some experience at kicker. So that's interesting. Like, I don't know if you have much of a future in that at the next
Mm.
level, but it's nice to say that you have some experience on special
Yeah.
teams. So, but anyhow, David, do wish you the very best of luck in this process. Okay, buddy?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and for having me on the show.
Sure, buddy. No problem. Once again, David Zorrilla, wide receiver out of Bryant University. Check this guy out.